Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We've seen a smart up move in the US markets yesterday and it was up almost about 0.58% and the Nasdaq was also up about 0.71%. We had some good positive data coming out from US as well. The jobless claims fell almost about 3,000. Also the manufacturing data that came out was better than the market expectations. But friends, off late we have seen that the data points which are coming out from US have been mixed, but the market overall appears quite resilient, and though we are seeing some downticks, overall trend of the market is clearly up. European markets also, when they opened up yesterday, they were quite weak. In fact, at one point they were down almost about 1%, but in the last couple of hours of trading session there was a smart pullback, and excepting DAX, which was down about 0.42%, most of the other markets are up. In fact, some kind of a political uncertainty is building up in Ukraine, but that did not have any material impact on the European markets. When we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is running away with a uptick of almost about 1.94%, and most of the other markets like Hang Seng are also up about 0.51%. In fact, yesterday Chinese manufacturing data was weak, and the Shanghai market did not really react negatively, but today morning we are seeing some kind of a downtick there, which is down almost about 1%. In fact, the yen also has depreciated against the dollar, which is playing a part in the upswing that we are seeing in the Nikkei. And when we look at the SGX Nifty today, it's showing flat move, about 2 points up, so not much of a positive impact of the global cues. In terms of flows, friends, FIs were net buyers in the cash market to the tune of about 201 crore. The domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 614 crore. And in the index futures, we have seen FIs selling to the tune of about 318 crore. It was quite a dull and a flat day for our markets yesterday, not much of an action, excepting the fact that some of the metal names like Tata Steel and Sesa Sterlite and Hindalco, they were down about 2 to 3%, mainly because of the weak manufacturing data coming out from China. IT as a pack was holding out pretty well, and we had seen some positive action in stocks like Tata Motors and L&T in particular. Overall market continues to be in a range of about 5970 on the downside and 6150 on the upside. So we think that given the weak cues that we have overall in terms of flows, the market is likely to be range bound. On that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O cues and ideas that we could have from the F&O side.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. After continuous trading in a positive terrain for more than 4 consecutive trading sessions, yesterday markets finally gave up their gains and closed the session at almost 1% loss at 6108 levels. In this period, we have seen that short position were squared off by market participants as around 3.72 lakh shares were reduced in open interest, and Nifty cost of carry increased significantly by 200% and Nifty futures premium also increased from 6.30 to 16.50 odd levels. But in PCR front, we have seen that marginal decrease in put call ratio from 1.20 to 1.19, which is clearly saying that we have seen that unwinding activity taken place in call option as well as put option. As we can see, 6000 and 6100 has seen a reduction in open interest front, and call strike of 6200 and 6300 we have seen a reduction in open interest front. There is one security in ban period today, that is Aurobindo Pharma. Yesterday FIs were net sellers of more than 600 odd crores in future and option segment. As we are trading about weekly VWAP of 6050, our market bias for the market is positive, and 6050 would act as a good support on closing basis. On intraday basis, support would be 6080 and resistance would be 6140, 6150. As Singapore Nifty is flat by 0.50 odd levels, so we may see a flattish to positive start in our Indian markets. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, some update on the telecom sector, where the government has announced new guidelines under which there is some relaxation of the market share requirement. So earlier, which was about 50%, now has been relaxed to about 35%. But one of the issues which is very critical is that the companies will have to pay the market related price for the spectrum, which definitely is not good for the sector. And though we have seen some deals happening in the recent past, like for example, Bharti acquired Loop Mobile, which is a Bombay-based operator. But the fact of the matter is that if the telecom companies have to pay a very high price for the spectrum, accepting the entry fee, then overall number of deals could be curtailed. So we don't see too much of a positive news flow on the telecom stocks because of this development. Some positive news for Renuka Sugar as Wilmar International has acquired a strategic stake in the company for almost about 1200 crore, and as a part of the deal the company will subscribe to the preferential equity shares of Renuka Sugars at a price of 20.08 per share for a total investment of about 517 crore. This will be followed up by the open offer at about 21.89 per share. Friends, overall looking at the debt of the company, which stands at about 8,500 crore, the amount which they are getting is hardly about 1,200 crore, and the price at which the conversion is likely to take place, which is around 20 or 21 rupees, is not substantially higher than the current market price. Earlier the market was expecting this to happen around 30 to 35. So we think that though the stock may react positively, there is not a case for too much of an upside in Renuka Sugars. Some negative news for Mahindra & Mahindra as its Korean subsidiary SsangYong has reported an operating loss of about 8.9 billion won, or almost about 51.7 crore. Earlier the market was expecting some profit out of this, so this would definitely be a bit of a negative for the Mahindra & Mahindra stock in today's market. Some negative news for Bharti as the Nigerian court has upheld the claim by the Econet Wireless that they will have to pay almost about $3 billion. And Bharti has contested this particular verdict, and they would appeal against the higher court. But the fact of the matter is that this has come as a negative blow for Bharti, and they might have to pay almost about $3 billion, which is definitely a bit of negative for Bharti. And some positive news for Opto Circuits as one of their subsidiaries has got a US FDA approval to market their product in the US market. So one can expect some positive reaction in the Opto Circuit stock in today's market. Coming to the stock specific ideas, friends, first of all, some positive news for Cipla, because the company has entered into a strategic partnership under which it will have the non-exclusive license to market and promote MSD's famous product Raltegravir 400 tablet. So since Cipla stock has corrected quite a bit, we think that this news could be a bit of a positive for it. So one can go long there with a stop loss of to 364 and a target of about 382 to about 390. And ABB, again some positive news as the company has won orders worth almost about 310 crore from the Power Grid Corporation of India. Remember friends, ABB came out with good set of numbers, and this particular news also would be a bit of a positive for it. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 668 and a target of about 703 to about 715. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.